The Strategic Petroleum Reserve is an emergency fuel storage of petroleum maintained underground in Louisiana and Texas by the United States Department of Energy. It is the largest emergency supply in the world. If an emergency did happen, and we continued our current rate of energy usage, this emergency supply would be gone in about 30 days. Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. This is a video I haven't done before, but it's about fuel reserves. You know, there's some things that no matter how much you store, eventually it's gonna run out. You just can't make more of it yourself. And fuel is one of those things, and so we store a good amount just to have on hand in case of an emergency where we can't go to the store and get more. We're about 20 miles from the nearest gas station here, and so we keep a reserve on hand in case of emergencies where we can't go get more, or you know, the gas station's closed. And that has happened in the past in American history, you know, so it's something that you can't say, oh, that'll never happen, because it has happened before in my lifetime and in my parents' lifetime, back in the 70s especially, you know, the gas lines and things like that. So this is something that has happened before and could happen again, especially with the state of our economy right now. Our economy is just a mess. We're now they say $20 trillion in debt, and you're just not going to recover from that. So there's going to be a crash at some point, and how, you know, that affects you could, you know, vary in a number of different ways. Here on our homestead, if we were basically cut off tomorrow, and we're far enough out where, you know, the homesteaders and the farmers in our area are gonna protect their roads, and people have already, I mean, people talk and they say, oh, we're gonna lay down trees across the road, and I mean, it could become inaccessible. And not only that, but our roads are horrible. They're dirt roads, they're hard gravel, and you know, many miles of gravel before you get out to the pavement. And the county's always working on those roads constantly, folks. And if the economy crashes and the county can't work on our roads anymore, they're going to become inaccessible very quickly. Every rainstorm that comes through here, heavy rainstorm, you always hear about it. It washes out at least one road, and the county has to come out and repair it. So there's a very good chance at some point that we may not be able to get to town to get more fuel or things that we need. But if we're cut off from here, we do have enough things to allow us to survive. We have enough root vegetables. We put up enough canning, tons of salsa, tons of stuff from our garden. Our garden produces very, very well. And so we save our seeds every year so that we can produce the same things next year. And so we could do okay. But fuel is just not going to be something we can make here on the homestead. So in order to, you know, if there ever is an emergency that arises, we have enough to keep our tractor going, to keep some of the things around our homestead going for a limited time, so that we can transition into that period of not having it anymore. There's a reason why our country has strategic oil reserves. That's a good enough reason for you also to have some strategic oil reserves, so that if something does happen, you can transition into that period a little bit easier than if you just were, you know, had to quit cold turkey. And so I tell people to, you know, have some fuel on hand that you can store. You know, some people would say, oh, I have 55-gallon drums of fuel, you know, stored up. Okay, if you want to do that, fine. What we have here, I deem sufficient enough to get us through a transition period, you know, so that some things can continue to work. We can, you know, use this and sparse amounts to be able to, you know, keep using some of the certain things that we need to keep running here for as much time as possible until just a time comes that I can't use it at all. But that's enough for us. And so we do have strategic oil reserves. Folks, if you're worried about the economy, you're worried about how things are going in this country, I would advise you to have some reserves on hand. If you have the ability, now if you're living in an apartment in New York City, you're not going to be able to store much. But if you do have a homestead, or if you do have a suburban, you know, place where you call home, it is possible for you to store just a little bit of fuel so that you have some reserves in case you need it in the time of an emergency. And so that's all this video is about, encouraging you to top off, go ahead and have some strategic oil reserves that you and your family can utilize in a time of an emergency. All right, guys, we'll see you next time on American Homestead. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up button below the video. It really means a lot to us. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Now you can support An American Homestead by becoming a patron. Visit patreon.com/An American Homestead to see all the benefits of becoming a patron of our channel. You'll get access to private videos, pictures, and even live question and answer sessions that you can participate in. Some patrons will even receive free gifts throughout the year from the Homestead. Visit patreon.com/An American Homestead to check it out and see the rewards of supporting our channel.